Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Janet.
Good morning, Dr.
Good
Abati.
to see
How are
you. Looking brighter.
I'm glad
some
to be
people
back.
describe you as resplendent, quintessential, delectable.
Where are you reading this?
I saw it on one.
Not the birthday wish. Oh, wow. Amazing.
Genix mania.
Yes, has caught on.
Well, all right. You're always looking dapper with your bow tie. Good morning, Ayo. How are you this morning?
Oji.
Great, thank you. I'm glad to be back. Yeah. Good morning, Rufai. How are you this morning? Now? I hope I feel better. I mean, you know, we're striving. I'm out here for the fans. Why not, right? Well, all right. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending by congratulating multi-talented actress, entrepreneur, and global influencer, Temi Otedola, who became the first African digital brand ambassador for L'Oréal Paris Makeup. L'Oréal Paris unveiled the historic partnership with Temi Otedola last week, stating that the collaboration marked a significant milestone in celebrating beauty across the African continent. Temi Otedola now joined fellow ambassadors Kendall, Jenner, and Viola to showcase her unique style and cement her status also as the first ever Nigerian digital ambassador for the iconic brand. Taking to Instagram, the global influencer expressed her excitement with the partnership, stating that L'Oréal Paris was amongst the first beauty products she was introduced to as a young girl, playing with her mother's makeup, adding that she identifies with the L'Oréal Paris woman, who she described as confident, infallible, and unapologetic. Temi Otedola is daughter to billionaire businessman Femi Otedola and wife of AfroBeats musician Mr. Eazi. She was lead actress in the award-winning movie Citation, a Netflix original which reached the #1 spot.
I didn't get your name.
Morimi Oluwa. My first one-on-one contact with Professor Ndiare was after a tutorial class. Everyone on campus is staring at me.
Your story has gone viral. We need the noise.
Professor.
They all think they can swim until somebody drowns.
I'm saying he attempted to rape me.
It was she who offered sex to me. It was I who rejected it.
This is my education, my reputation, my future is on the line right now.
C'est votre parole contre la mienne.
C'est pas fini.
Amazing young talent. Congratulations to Temi Otedola. Well put together, definitely a role model to a lot of young girls. She has established herself as a renowned actress at this moment, and now she's the face of L'Oréal because she's worth it. I mean, you know that slogan, because I'm worth it. It also speaks to the power of positive influence. I mean, I love the fact that, she talked about her mother when she was growing up, using L'Oréal lipstick, and now she is the face of L'Oréal. I love the fact that she's also the first ever African digital ambassador for this. Great diversity for the L'Oréal brand, great advertisement for Nigeria as well, like I always say, great advertisement for the young talent as well. Mr. Eazi's wife, Temi Otedola.
We're used to a number of people, to some people. But first of all, congratulations to Temi Otedola. One of the hardest things is to follow the footstep of a parent who's done phenomenally well. However, one thing I must say about the Otedola children is that they've been able to carve a niche for themselves and make a name for themselves in their own right. For Temi Otedola, it's great to see her become, I like the word you used to describe, a global influencer. The influencing as a career path, as a job, is catching on. A number of people who thought, it's just people posting on social media, but we've seen people make very big deals. The beauty industry is worth over $500 billion in the world, and so she's tapping into that market. And then she's joining big names like Viola, like you mentioned, Kendall, Jenner, and other big names, iconic women and men who have been faces of the L'Oreal brand. L'Oreal has been in the market for 115 years, has passed on from generation to generation. Can you see the impact, the similarities there? A company that was founded and then passed on to their children, to their children's children. So just to see this with, you know, Temi Otedola is brilliant. And like you said, excellent role modeling for young people. It's work by, you know, hard work, presented herself online, really decent, you know, in a manner that is exemplary and such that would attract an international brand like L'Oreal. Trust me, they don't just pick people and just say, I like you, let me come and be an ambassador, because it's a lot. You know, you carry the name of the brand, you carry on your shoulders 115 years of history. So congratulations to her. Now, you know, actor, now global ambassador, and this has been a dream from a very long time. So congratulations.
Absolutely.
And thank you for showing the way. There are different career paths for many people. And following, you know, Copy also was King's Trust, ambassador
about 2 weeks ago.
So just to see, that's why I said, just to see them, it's a difficult task to follow an iconic parent. Now to imagine the children making a name for themselves is brilliant. Any father or mother would be proud.
Absolutely.
So congratulations.
Power of positive influence. You know, congratulations to the Otedola family, Femi Otedola. Temi Otedola, you are worth it. We'll take another story. Senate President Godswill Akpabio has described Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, as the 9th wonder of the world for completing the 650,000 barrels per day petroleum refinery. Akpabio made the comment over the weekend during a tour of the facility. He condemned those who were skeptical of the refinery's completion, describing them as dream killers.
I never thought that the shame that pervaded this country since 1956, when oil was discovered in a library, could be taken away. But you single-handedly, you have taken that shame away. How can a country produce so much millions and millions of crude oil, but continue to do import and import and import without any refinery working? How can? You mentioned here that India is not producing any crude oil, but it is refining so much, bringing oil, and even there's no import into India of refined products. Instead, they are exporting to other countries. It is now time for Nigeria to do so through one man and one man alone. The Link and you of the petrochemical industry, Aliko Dangote. We are happy. We are very excited.
Somehow he manages to put a smile on my face, Akpabio, the Link and you of, you know, Africa at this point. I mean, last week while I was here, we took the story of the Dangote refinery where he talked about the fact that only Africans can build Africa. And Rufai, you were trying to make a point, and I'm glad that I brought up this story about dream killers. Please, go ahead.
I mean, so Senate President Akpabio is a very jolly man.
Yeah,
you know, so he likes to put a smile on people's face, the Lake Wayu and everything. He even calls him the night wonder of the world. Is it the ancient or the modern world? You know, whatever it might be. But apart from all of that, so the point I was trying to make last week is very important. During Olusegun Obasanjo's time, Aliko Dangote did purchase one of the refineries, I think the Port Harcourt refinery. And the plan was to revamp it and put it to production. But most of those purchase sales were reversed. And that was a big problem. That was why he decided that he had to go his way and build his own refinery. You see, where government keeps letting us down, if they had allowed Aliko Dangote to revamp the Port Harcourt refinery, it would have been producing long ago before now. Now the government just revamped the Port Harcourt refinery many years, over 15 years after, and they are telling us it's been technically completed. So there are many assets there that are moribund that the government is not allowing people come into because of various reasons. So when Mr. Akpabio has seen another newspaper saying that he puts the government to shame, he is also part of government, and government is a continuum. The truth has to be told that why is it that we have a country where government does not do well in business? It ruins everything. And except we settle out that mentality, we will not grow. Rather than Dangote just complete his refinery now, if he had been given the Port Harcourt refinery, God knows, will have been producing big time because he will have run it, revamped it, spent less cost than this 21 trillion is now spent, 21 billion is now spending now. Yeah, which I'm correct, is about 21 trillion. He will have produced at less cost And probably maybe will have gone ahead to take up another refinery. But the fact I wanted to also clarify last week, you've also had a lot of modular refinery deals. But the problem is here, like OPAC and a couple of other ones, but the problem is getting crude is also a problem. So if Mr. Akpabio is celebrating and all of that, he should also know that the government, through NNPC, has not made crude available to Aliko Dangote. That's why he's going to buy West Texas intermediates. And if he buys at a foreign place, he will have to recoup his costs. So I think one of the things they should also do is to ensure that they prevail on NNPC, to ensure that there's crude available. But the question is, when will crude be available when we are not even meeting our OPEC quota? We are doing about 1.2 million barrels per day. Probably if you add some condensate to it, is a little bit more than that. That will not meet the regulatory 445,000 barrels per day that we set in the early 90s for national energy security. So we must also make crude available. I talked to most of the local refineries owners, OPAC and the likes. The problem is getting crude. Even when they sell crude to them, they say they come and buy in Forex. So these are the problems that you should use good office to solve. Not saying Dangote is the aid one. Let me speak up this morning. Dangote is going through a lot.
Yes, he said that.
He's going through hell trying to make that refinery work. So don't just say it's the eighth wonder of the world. Meet him halfway. Help him. As a government, see how you can ensure that he gets crude. NNPC has taken shares there. Let's make things available so that we can be able to support him.
Absolutely. All right. I think the conversation also is about, increasing productivity.
Yes.
And that is why, Labour is asking for increase in minimum wage, and the governors are saying that they cannot because, obviously, their states are not producing. I mean, what is their IGR? It will take me to my next story. As governors under the aegis of the Nigerian Governors Forum pushed against paying 60,000 naira minimum wage for workers, controversial Catholic priest Reverend Father Ejike over the weekend proposed that governors and members of the National Assembly should earn a minimum wage because they are all civil servants. The cleric made the comments during a live television interview. He also appealed to the federal government to avoid pushing poor Nigerians to a point of rebellion.
Because if they are not careful, this crisis of a thing can be hijacked and nobody will know the repulse effect. If they succeed in doing that, everybody will be endangered. If the government now will go on strike, Labour will say, don't come out. No vehicle will move. Nobody will sell petrol. NEPA will not work. And so who will survive? If we decide to give Labour people 60,000 naira or 62,000 naira, why not generalize it to House Assembly members, to senatorial members, to House Arrest members, to our governors? All of them are civil servants. Are they not? Yeah. So if all of them are civil servants, why are these people slaves?
All right. Father Ejike Mbaka is not the first person calling for these, federal government parastatals to, also earn the living wage. A lot of people have said that he's absolutely correct because obviously, are the other people slaves when all of these people are earning such humongous amounts of money? Dr. Bati, let me pull up what the governors are making in 2024 before I come to you. Monthly basic salary, they say, is 2.2 million naira, while leave allowance is 200,000 naira. Vehicle loan at 400% of the annual basic salary. End of tenure gratuity is 6.6 million naira. Total salary for a governor, Dr. Abati, about 11 million naira. Deputy governors earn a little less. I'm not going to go through all of that. But last week we talked about the senators earning an approximate 30 million naira a month. I mean, this is what is upsetting organized labor at this point. When you see these amounts of money and the governors insisting, saying that they cannot pay 60,000 naira, I think is a complete indictment. Who was that person that said that they should leave if they cannot pay 60,000 naira?
It was the NLC.
It was the NLC.
That says so. But let me take all the three stories. I'll start with Temi Otedola to congratulate her that she's doing well. The only point I need to add is about parenting. Congratulating Femi Otedola and his wife you know, this is a young lady who has distinguished herself as an actress and who has also carved a path for herself. And now, she says when she was young, she was playing with her mom's makeup and all that.
Yes, we discussed that already.
Whoever knew that, you know, playing with makeup will become a big thing. Akinola Akinropo is a leading authority on parenting. He has done a number of books on it. Sometimes you never know what your child will come up with. And it's important, as Femi Otedola and his wife, you know, are both done, to encourage the creativity of your children. The same creativity we have seen in Temi Otedola, we have also seen in OjyOkpe, you know, who keeps excelling. The second story, the major point made by Godswill Akpabio, he talked about dream killers, which I referred to last week, taken from the interview that Aliko Dangote granted a lease of CNN, and how, you know, he was just determined. He went ahead and did it. He refused people, he refused his dream to be killed by Nigerians. But the more important point that Akpabio made was that where government has failed to fix refineries, in Warri, in Port Harcourt, in where else do we have refinery? Kaduna, one individual has succeeded. In a country where no African president has been able to do exactly the same thing, one individual has succeeded. In a country of 240 million, one individual has succeeded, despite all the challenges that he faced. And third, he made a point that they are going to support Dangote refinery by supporting necessary legislation, by providing necessary legislation. And he was not alone there. He was there with other people. So the support that he has expressed with his team that went there is important. And we hope that they will live up to it. He was not there alone. There were senators there. The governor of Lagos State was also there. I hope that this will be a challenge to government, because Dangote refinery is the one all of us are now looking up to. When are they going to make the refineries to work so that we can have a big, you know, achievement? Finally, about Father Ejike, he was referring to governors and lawmakers as civil servants. They are not civil servants. The correct phrase is public servants. But the big point that all of us are making is that, look, part of the problem we have with minimum wage is that there is too much fat in government. There are too many leaky buckets. There is too much wastage, and there is corruption. The Nigerian government has been saying repeatedly, from Buhari to Tinubu, that we, the people of Nigeria, should make sacrifice. Now, are the people leading us, are they themselves willing to make sacrifice? They are just interested in ostentation. I made that point. In toys. They want to ride big cars. They want to live in big buildings. And yet, they are not interested in either the people who are working or the people who are on pension. I think leadership by example will help. Respecting the dignity of workers would help. That is the major point that both Father Ejike, who seems to have found his voice again, one of these days he will not put his foot in his mouth again, as he had done previously. Yeah. But the point that he's making is about this sacrifice we talk about should be collective, and I think that's a valid point to make.
Take another story. Over the weekend, a viral footage which showed young Nigerian girls who were trafficked to Ghana caught the attention of the chairperson of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri, who in a series of posts on X confirmed that the girls had been rescued by the Nigerians in the Diaspora organization. The young girls, who were said to be between the ages of 15 and 18, were reportedly lured into prostitution in Ghana. Well, according to the NIDCOM chair, the suspected trafficker has been arrested by law enforcement officers in Ghana, while the young girls will be handed over to the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons to ensure their safety. Abike Dabiri came under fire after stating in a post on X that human traffickers were worse than drug barons. Well, obviously, you know that she has come under fire. Let me take this her tweet. Abike wrote, you know, honestly, the traffickers need to be named and shamed. They are worse than drug barons. And as long as they are walking about freely, innocent young children will continue to be trafficked. Obviously, you know, People Gazette had interpreted her tweet and they wrote, drug barons are not as bad as human traffickers, says Tinubu's appointee, with that picture of Abike, Dabiri era. But a lot of people have said, I mean, how is she, how did this happen? But she responded to People's Gazette. Let's take her response quickly. She wrote, useless, as always. We're talking of young girls trafficked by traffickers who are destroying the lives of innocent girls. You see NDLEA arresting drug carriers every day. Why aren't we seeing traffickers being arrested same way? What a miserable, insanely pathetic, wrapped mind. Shame on you. Shame Samuel Ogudikpe, shame. As usual, your wrapped mind is totally twisted and unbelievably insane. Samuel Ogudikpe, how miserably pathetic can you be? Again, this is a government official. Let me take one reaction to this her tweet. They wrote, Madam Abike Dabiri needs to be schooled. That drug lords use women and children as agents to smuggle drugs across the borders and countries. The only way to stop human trafficking is to tame drug barons. I mean, this is too complicated. I wish we had time. We always... Are you a specialist in Abike Dabiri? I was going to specialist. I'm sorry. In Abike Dabiri matters. Go ahead. But quickly, and I would like to bring our final story. So just a minute, please. But
to be honest, I don't think she ought to have made that comparison. Yes. Yeah. Well, it's not a comparison that they are both terrible, horrendous, condemned completely. Without. I'm saying that NDLEA catches drug peddlers a lot. Yes. NAPTIP, that almost degrades the work that NAPTIP is currently doing. NAPTIP, against the grain, have been doing a lot of work in human trafficking and also establishing a protocol to ensure that people who are trafficked are also rehabilitated. Yes. So I think, but not to compare both of them. And like Rufai said, please, Madam Abike Dabiri, with all due respect, I think it's important that someone manages her social media account so she's able to speak in the position of her office and not just have to respond to every Tom, Dick and Harry with very, I absolutely love that point that you just made, Ayo, and I'm glad that the girls are back. This is a serious crime. Human trafficking is a serious crime. Dr. Vati, you took all our time. I would have loved to wish the Banj, our Bengali, happy 20 years anniversary. Over the weekend, our Jennifer Olize covered the event. He was celebrating 20 years on stage. And here is just a quick snippet. 3, 2, 1.
I'm so humbled right now. Importer, exporter, and I must greet you all specially. I'm on top of the world, in front of the crowd. Looking back now, there's no regrets. Moving forward, that's all that's left. Wouldn't change a thing, even if I could. I'm stronger now, it was for the sake of the world. Paid my dues. Got plenty of scars, but nothing to lose. I'm on top of the world, in front of the crowd.
I would love us all to congratulate the band for marking 20 years on stage. Really, congratulations. Congratulations. Well, I wish we had more time on What's Trending. Well, I'd like to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.